And here we are. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Helen.
Ladies,
Good evening.
thank you for joining me. So tonight we have Elaine, who's here from Glasgow. We have Tandy, who's here from Lusaka. We have Annam, who's here from the Gold Coast.
Hello.
And interestingly enough, Annam, we have a Gold Coast here.
Oh.
Yeah. When Tony and I first moved to New Zealand in 1980, we lived on the Kapiti Coast, which used to be called the Gold Coast. So how about that for a link of meaningless trivia? Does that make our lives serene? That's what I want to know. So we've got Pia here. Hi, Pia. She's very polite. She says, hello, ladies. Okay. We've been upgraded because we're so serene. We're now ladies. And we have a Facebook user who is also saying hello. So while people are coming in, what do you think of the topic, Serenity? Are we losing it? Any one of the three of you can begin. That's good, eh?
Yeah.
I misheard your question.
I can kick it off. That's fine. I'd be happy to. Definitely. You know, my understanding of serenity is very much a non-verb. It's not something that you go around doing, you know, achieving. It's not a stack pile of achievements, successes, you know. That's at the end of the day, you can't say, okay, I've done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and therefore that equals serenity. You know, it equals something else, but it doesn't equal serenity. And I think that we have lost that. And for me, serenity is more in the, if I was to say a color, you know, I was thinking about this today. I was walking on the beach and I was thinking, what color is serenity to me? And I actually couldn't get past white. I couldn't get past light, you know, white and light. I couldn't actually, every time I tried to put a color to it, it sort of wouldn't take. It wouldn't absorb it, you know. So, you know, so it's the state of being, a state of tranquility, you know. That's not because I've done something to earn it. It's a state of connection to spirit, really. That's the way I see it. I feel that I've when I connect to spirit, that I don't have to do anything really. I just experience that connection, feel and fill myself up and just be. And I can just be rather than do. So I think definitely we've lost it because we're running around, you know, as world communities, trying to patch up, do, achieve, fix up, you know, the messes that we've made, put out fires, literal as well as metaphoric, you know, everything. So, yeah, I would have to say that we've lost it.
Okay. Just before we go to the next person, so we've now been joined by Sharon, Anita. Actually, we've been joined by Anita, and we've been joined by Anita, hello, darling, which is my husband sharing Anita's screen, I imagine. Caroline, Stephanie, and Ola. So that's nice. We've got a few of you here. Who else would like to say something about, and Haresh, about serenity? Are we losing it? Elaine or Tandy? Elaine, go on.
Yes. I would say that there is a dearth of serenity in the world at the moment through the amount of emotion that is running the show all over the place. Because when we're all emotional, we cannot find that place within ourselves to be calm, to have that stillness. And so, you know, if no one's taking the time to actually sit and be with themselves and, you know, find their sense of self within the world, then, and I don't believe that's happening with everything that is happening in the world right now and the fear that seems to be running the show. I think we really need to find our way back to serenity. Yeah, we're looking at, yeah.
Thank you. Tandy?
When you asked us to talk about serenity, the first thing that came to mind was the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I don't think I've ever been serene, and it was the word jarred me a little bit because I haven't heard it for so long, and yeah. So I don't think the world is at a serene place right now. But then again, we are in this high energy phase, aren't we, where everything is changing. So I don't really think that we are going to be serene right now. So it really is a matter of just accepting the things that you cannot change and the courage to change the things that I can right now.
And that's serenity.
Yeah.
For me, serenity is a state of being. Yes, it's an inner. It's who we are on inner levels.
Yeah.
For me, serenity's never been an external.
No.
I don't. I can relate to what Annam's saying. I wouldn't say at the end of the day I've achieved 6 things, so now I'm serene. It's not about what we do outside. It's about what we achieve inside. And if we're connected internally, the world can go mad around us and we will navigate it. It doesn't mean we don't feel it. It doesn't mean we don't get caught up in it. But the core of who we are never forgets who we are and where we're based and where we're focused. And I would say there's a lot of people in the world that don't let go of that core. Whether that core for them is spiritually aligned or not, they know who they are and they navigate what's happening based on who they are without apology. And that's acceptance.
Yes.
So when we accept ourselves, we automatically have that inner peace, that inner being.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who aren't at that point, who don't know how to find that point. And I think you've all made valid reasons for that, different things that are happening. That's based on choice, though, isn't it?
It is. I wonder if, for many people, if they're aware that serenity is even available to them. If it's something that's even, because, there's such a whirlwind going on for some, say maybe the generations, coming up. I wonder if that's something that gets considered, though there is so much more talk about meditation. There is so much more talk about awareness. There is so much talk about that never was before. So perhaps I stand myself corrected.
I don't know, because I would say that, excuse me, I have the heater on because it's a bit chilly at the moment here. I'm just switching it off. And this is a whole different topic that we will talk about. Do people actually meditate? Or do they shut their eyes and have a conversation with themselves to find out what their answers are and then go forward? That's a whole different topic. But I think serenity is an old-fashioned word. It belongs to a different time and a different space. Not necessarily place, but space. Just because it's old-fashioned and belonged there doesn't mean to say it can't be here. But if we don't talk about it, people can't learn about it, can they?
Yeah.
Sharon says, I'll just show this, I don't think we've lost our serenity. You can only lose what you had. So extending out serene experiences is what I am happy to explore. And I'm not quite sure what she means by extending out serene experiences. Perhaps you could give us a little bit of an update on that, Sharon. And Stephanie, I don't own a TV or stereo. For me, serenity is being at peace within myself. Outside, I don't always achieve it. To me, whether I've got a TV or a stereo or not doesn't make any difference. I can be in the middle of a busy shopping mall and be serene. I can be on my own and be so frustrated with myself that it's fortunate that there's nobody around. But I take Stephanie's point that sometimes external things like that, if we're not anchored, can jar our serenity, can take us out of that state of being. it's about being able to anchor it irrespective. It's the eye of the storm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's also wonderful. I loved hearing that word, that was being presented for this evening, because I hadn't heard about it for a long time myself. And so when I just started to connect to it, and explore what that was, and of course, took myself into an environment which, for me, walking along the ocean and, getting myself out of the shopping malls and all of that, just to explore that for myself. It just showed me that it was like a space, your own space, that you don't need, when you're in that moment, you don't need to add anything more to it. You don't have to take anything away. Just because somebody might be doing something that really annoys you on the beach, or wherever you are, might annoy you, but you're just not, normally you would be annoyed, but you just observe it. It's just there because you're just held in that space. That is absolute acceptance. That's all I can feel. Serenity feels like I'm in the heart or the hub of acceptance, and it's a beautiful word. I was really delighted that was offered.
Serenity and accept, to me, they're interchangeable. Serenity and acceptance are interchangeable. Caroline says, serenity, I'll pop this one up. Serenity for me is taking time in nature, stopping and rejuvenating my energy and becoming peaceful within, connected to my inner being, still within. Yeah, okay. Haresh says, listening to you, it sounds like serenity is something we can develop through practice and awareness. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Angela says, I love how a word is anchored in a space and how it transports people like Anna sharing. The great writers always use words to do this, bring us to a space. But, where are they bringing us?
Awareness.
It's not about nature. It's not about, if our world isn't serene, going to the beach, going into nature isn't going to change it. We need to have that sense of serenity within, no matter where we are, and take it with us wherever we go. So we become the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
And we invite people into the eye with us, but the storm never passes through and knocks them sideways.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Probably not the best analogy.
Do
you see what I mean? If
absolutely.
that serenity, then our aura becomes an infection.
Absolutely.
And we touch people with it.
Absolutely.
So how do hang on, Sharon's come back to us. Are we ready for this? She's been serene within chaos, calm and whole, and there are moments she slips into mass consciousness. Practicing being serene in all aspects is taking that place within me everywhere. That's exactly what we're saying, Sharon. Yeah. So Anita says, is nature being the example for us? And I think nature is. I think that's why we say we go into nature. Because nature, you've got the elements, and sometimes they're in balance and sometimes they're not. But you can still be serene within it. You can still stand in a howling gale and feel safe and energized.
A little bit like the lighthouse metaphor, Helen, perhaps, where you've just got, it's always standing there, no matter what's being battered around it, it's there shining a light on everything that needs to be revealed, from within or without. I certainly find that, I can go to nature when I'm feeling like I need to be anchored or grounded, perhaps. But the innate nature assists it, but I have to be there with spirit in order for it to actually assist me to arrive at that place or somewhere close to it sometimes even.
Yeah.
In and of itself, I can't just look at nature and I'm like, oh, there we are.
No. Clara says serenity for her is inner peace. It's from within. Very true. Tandy, did you want to say something?
Yes. I was wondering, is somebody able to achieve serenity if they're not at peace with themselves, that they don't know who they are yet? No. Huh? So you have to know who you are first, become anchored in who you are.
Not necessarily. I think you need to accept who you are even if there are pieces you don't know yet. If you accept that this is who I am, and I'm still discovering who I am, but I accept that this is who I am, then that is an anchor point. And for me, my serenity developed not because I was out in nature, not because I was meditating. Mine came from the health challenges I had. Because each time I went through one and came out the other side, I felt a stronger sense of, well, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And so every time I went through a crisis, the crisis itself helped me to find me, and more importantly, to accept me. Whereas if everything had been smooth, I might never have looked at me and might never have thought, well, if you didn't have that wart on the end of your nose, life might be easy or something, because I see warts no. Sharon says, is serenity trusting all is perfect in time and space? No, I don't think so, Sharon. I don't think serenity is an external thing. I think serenity is trusting that who we are is who we are. And we're here for a reason or a purpose. How do you three see it?
I see that that serenity fills your space. It's like it fills your bubble. If that's what you're sitting in, that serenity. You're sitting in it. And it's actually rippling out. It's actually moving out. You can almost tangibly see it. Impulsing out, and of course it's affecting those that are around you and bringing a sense of calm, to turbulence, to anything. I particularly like to be still like this. I don't know whether it's serenity, probably, especially around my grandchildren, little children, when they're high voltage, energy and fighting one another, not, just a lot of turbulent energy going all around. And I just sit quietly, there. I'm not meditating. I'm just sitting quietly, just feeling my bubble. And all of a sudden, they quieten down. It takes a little while. I don't have to say or yell at them. They just quieten down. It winds down the energy, just winds it all down, and it's great. It's like it's so effective. It's a really effective energy. It's a very effective energy. Yeah. So,
Elaine?
Yes. I often have to work with large groups of people all doing different things, coordinating things together. So if I'm there not being calm and being the opposite and everything, no one can achieve anything. Because, everyone goes, well, I'm the eye of the storm or anything like that. But certainly bringing that just inner knowing that, everyone's got their part to play and being aware of each other's part to allow each other to actually do it makes a huge difference. And absolutely, there are times I just sit and let them all get on with it a little bit and then just radiate it out. And it makes such a difference. And and you bring that to absolutely every single situation that comes up every day, whether it's standing in a queue, people getting upset. It's really effective. And the more I put my mind to it, to imagine, the more I put my mind to it when I was thinking about the serenity, the more I realized that this is something that's happening without you thinking about it. And so the more you are at one with your sense of self, which is an ongoing thing, but we can sense the effects.
Okay, Tandy.
Thinking about it, my life is not serene because every day I open my email. I have a client who has a problem. So for me, every day is about problem solving. But I find that although the world around me is not serene, I need to go into my calm space to be serene, to figure out how I am going to help my client with that problem. So without being calm and serene, I wouldn't sit there remembering all that I know about the law and which section or which portion of the law is going to help me at that particular time to help my client. So yes, there is a sense that there is a sense of serenity that has to come into me to be able to sit and just to figure out what I am going to do to help my client for that day.
So I'm going to say, which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Oh.
Because you're saying you have to go into the space, whereas if we never leave it,
Yeah.
you can still open up your email and have all the clients that have got problems and yada, 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 but you've never left your calm space. You just flow with it. That's the
Yeah,
trick.
I guess. Yeah.
Because if you're stepping into the space, are you stepping into serenity, or are you stepping into a sense of calmness for the day, for your clients? Serenity is an inner impetus, right? And it's ours.
Yeah.
If you have to go and find it, is that a level of emotion rather than a level of being?
Yes. I think for me, when I open my emails or when somebody tells me about their problems, I think, first of all, I do go into my emotions. Oh my God, how do I handle this? Then I calm myself to get the solution. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you start from the serenity,
yeah, then I will keep being serene, I guess.
yeah. And that's the practice that Haresh asked about.
Yes.
So we've got a few more. This is good. Stephanie had the same thing for her with health challenges, including leaving her body at times, passing. Yeah, I know that one too, Stephanie. We must compare notes one day. I tried 3 times. Clara, accepting who I am, at least there's no struggling within myself. True, and it achieves a kind of peace. This is interesting, the one from Sonia. I think I had mixed up serenity with not having any emotion or feeling. And a lot of people do. A lot of people think that if you're serene, you just don't feel anything. And that's not true. You can be serene and you can still feel everything. It's like a lift in a building. It's not a very good analogy, but it's the best one I can think of. You step into a lift and you're contained in that lift. You don't press any buttons. You're just standing in the lift. The building's going on around you. People are doing what they're doing around you, but you're in that lift. You choose where you want to be. You choose what floor you want to be on. And therefore you choose how you respond or react as a consequence. To me, that's what serenity is. We stand in that lift and we decide, are we going to go and get involved with them, or are we going to go and get involved with them, or are we just going to stay where we are and thank you very much? So serenity is that centered aspect of self that says, who I am is enough.
Yeah.
And I experienced that the feeling is a pure feeling. And I know that's a funny way of putting it, but I saw the difference between the feeling, the simplicity of the feeling, then, in terms of that, and then the lack of emotion, like there wasn't like the turbulence of emotion, the way that emotion gets generated, gets triggered, gets just every thought can bring a different emotion. That's like, when you're in that serenity, I was going to say tranquility, it's probably another word too, in that serenity, all of that is just not there. It's simply not there. So and the feeling is accurate, so when I say it's pure, it's not high, not away with the fairies, but it's a trustable feeling. You could trust that feeling.
We could be away with the fairies.
Okay, I can do that. I love that.
Tracy says, as I've heard you say many times, Helen, knowing all is well, despite the appearance of a situation. I think this is an invitation to practice serenity. All is well. John always said that. When I first started working with John, he would always end with all is well. Even when it wasn't, all is well. Because it's the difference between what we're seeing appearing on the outside and what we know is occurring on the inside. It's the difference between the appearance and the significance. So Stephanie says, if I've understood John last session that I had, it's necessary to redo my bubble of pink light prior to each client person event that I have. I wouldn't have said that, but I don't know what he said to you. It's made a very real difference. Certainly, if you feel you need to do it, then do it. But he did also say that in actual fact, we only have to do it once. The difference is whether we accept that having done it once, it's never going to be compromised. And there's that acceptance again.
Yes.
I accept that's enough. It is because we know it is.
Yeah.
Holding energy. So I think what Stephanie's saying is that when she redoes her bubble of pink light, she's holding energy, and that's made the difference. Yeah, that is a different thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Any other? Elaine, go on.
I just want to expand on that. So holding the energy makes enhances her sense of self or safety, or where is that coming from? That
enhances, I don't know. Stephanie, holding the energy, what does it do? Elaine would like to know what that does, what that achieves. So we can still yatter amongst ourselves while Stephanie's tapping that for us. What can we do as individuals and collectively to refresh people's memory of serenity? That was a good question, obviously, because everyone just went dead silent.
Well, my first thought was to bring it up, to practice it more yourself, and be in that space yourself, of course. And to sort of bring it out and dust it off in conversation, because I do believe what you were saying, Helen, about meditation and all of these things that people do. You've got your yoga and you've got the meditation, and it still becomes like a list of doing things, like a whole bunch of doing. Just stop, stop. Meditation is not to achieve what, just stop. And actually, are you actually experiencing stopping? Have you actually experiencing, not having those emotional things happening all the time and the endless? Just stop and just feel the serenity. So I'd be bringing up more in conversation myself, because I like the word.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that. And when I think of saying to someone, like, if I was describing someone as being calm, it's a very different feeling when you describe someone as being very serene.
Yes.
So serene, really, I think of the Buddha face. I think of that, just being, as opposed to, everything's crazy, but I'm calm. Look at me, I'm calm. More about control, perhaps, even.
Is it calm or present? Present here. For me, when I meditate, it's not about asking questions and getting answers. It's about sitting and going so deep within. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. I don't have any questions. It's about aligning and feeling the pulse that tells us that we're aligned. And then when I come out, I get my messages during the day because I'm aligned. And for me, that energy is what it's about. Stephanie answered the question. It stops her energy dissipating. Okay. So she redoes her bubble of pink light prior to each client or person event so that it stops her energy dissipating. Sarupa's asked, what color is serenity? Is there a color? Anam said for her it's white. For me, it's blue. For me, it's blue. It's like water. It's that gentle. It's not the raging torrent, although, hey, whatever. It's that serenity that the water flows. I look at water, and there's a depth of peace in it for me. Caroline says present. Yeah. Tracy said present. Anita says develop our own serenity and operate from there, then the serenity energy can be a good virus. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stephanie says it's blue. For her, the color is blue too. So Sarupa says it's blue. Can we share that color with the planet into the grid? Sarupa, that's what the healing every week with Tony does, coincidentally.
Yes. It is blue, isn't it? Yes.
Helen's wearing a bikini.
He does the blue. He started out with the blue, and then he's added the pink. So we're doing that. Haresh says, joy and acceptance with practical awareness. Instead of shutting out everything, welcoming everything with discernment. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's about it's about standing in total acceptance. You don't have to like and you don't have to agree with, but it's about accepting that everybody's entitled to how they feel. Everybody's entitled to what they do because that's their journey. Good or bad isn't the point. It's a soul journey, and we don't know what that soul journey is about, so it's none of our business. It's about accepting that we're here for a reason and getting on with it. Apparently, my husband says that for him, serenity is a very pale green. So when this is over, I'll just go and have serious work with him. How we will sort out.
Yeah. There may be a subtle hint, Helen, that you're wearing what you're wearing today.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't pick up on this, you know. But for him, no, but see, that's the beauty of it. For him, it's green. And now, you see, men have to stand together. Haresh is saying he sees green too. Isn't that lovely?
They must be equating the green to nature, the leaves and the trees and all the green in nature, maybe.
Yeah.
But maybe
So are we losing? Seriously, are we losing serenity? I don't think we are. I think perhaps we've lost the art of practicing serenity. But I don't think you can lose serenity as a state of being when there are so many people in their own day-to-day lives developing that. You know, we see the bad news on TV. We very rarely see the good news. So it's easy to believe that the whole world is always in a turmoil every piece of the way. There's a lot of good.
yes.
There's a lot of kindness, and there's a lot of people that don't jump to react, but do choose to respond. So Sonia says she doesn't think we're losing it either. We could be losing the plot, but we're not losing serenity. After this conversation, I have deeper understanding of what serenity really means. Well, I hope you all have. Do we feel that we've done service to the word?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
Well, that's good, because the rest of this month in my posts, in the JTB posts and Phoenix Rising, you're going to get hit with serenity right, left and centre.
Oh my God, panic.
We're doing a lot on serenity. So one thing I would like to finish with, at the moment, there's a lot of fire in the world. Thursday, Tony's going to be doing healing. I don't yet know what his topic is, but at the moment we've got a lot of fire in the world, and serenity is water. I think it would be lovely just to take a moment to send a wave of serenity for the people, the places that have too much fire. And that's all we need to do, send the thought of that wave of serenity. Not a tidal wave, thank you very much. A nice gentle wave that can help people. Okay, how would you like to finish? Tandy, how would you like to finish?
You know, earlier on, Helen, I thought of serenity as air, as calm air, but now I see it as water, actually. Yes, the gentle flow of water. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Elaine?
I feel so heartened actually, because I initially started out thinking, oh gosh, everyone's so in their emotions, etc., that maybe there's not enough room for the realization of serenity. But I feel differently now. I think absolutely there's so much good going on, and no one's giving up. Everyone is opening up, and I think that's super cool.
Great. Thank you. Anna?
Yeah, I think it's super cool too, Elaine. I'm just seeing a lot of younger people, like teenagers and people in their 20s and 30s, that have got so much get up and go from a perspective of knowing what's going on, in our world, and willing to put things forward, willing to try different ways. But the underlying energy that I'm seeing with them, and this is a lot of people, is that they just can listen to one another and just truly listen and comment and say that's a really good idea, or that's the cooperating. It just seems to be effortless, to them. And I have a great, enormous amount of hope with the people, the people that to come after us, after me anyway. Yeah. So I'm happy.
I didn't want to know if you were happy. I wanted to know what you thought about serenity.
I thought I might just throw that one in there.
You have to have a rebel somewhere, don't you? Thank you. Thank you to all three of you. I've enjoyed this. If you've got any further comments, please post them. And we can talk about it a bit more. John's talk this month is about serenity. So let's see what comes out of it. Who knows where it might lead us? Thank you, ladies. It's been a pleasure hosting you tonight. And thank you to everybody else. I'm not going to say it's been a pleasure hosting all of you, because I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a bit more than a pleasure. So let's hope we can do this again another time. Okay. Goodbye for now. And remember, all is well. All is well.
All is well.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.